Halloween, that enchanting eve where the veil between the mundane and the magical thins just enough to let creativity run wild, has long been a canvas for celebrities to unleash their inner icons. This year it was Apple Martin, the poised, enigmatic 21-year-old daughter of Coldplay frontman Chris Martin and Goop Empress Gwyneth Paltrow, who stole the spotlight with a homage so audacious it blurred the lines between tribute and reinvention. Channeling the electrifying essence of David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust era, Martin emerged not as a mere cosplayer, but as a living embodiment of rock and roll rebellion. Her ensemble was a masterclass in bold, unapologetic glamour. A skin-tight metallic gold halter-neck playsuit that hugged her frame like liquid starlight, its tiny hot pants adorned with a constellation of colorful stars that seemed to twinkle with cosmic promise. Paired with towering black slouch knee-high boots that lent an edge of defiant strut, the outfit was completed by a cascade of candy-pink dyed hair, a vibrant shock against her signature blonde, and a lightning bolt streaked across her face, evoking Bowie's otherworldly allure. Posting the look on Instagram with a wry caption, "The spray hair dye does not, in fact, come out after one shampoo," Martin infused the moment with her trademark dry wit, a subtle nod to the imperfections that make perfection all the more relatable. This dazzling display arrived mere days after a seismic shift in Martin's public persona, one that thrust her from the sheltered wings of nepotism's shadow into the unforgiving glare of critique. Just weeks prior, she had taken the stage at a surprise gig in Nashville, joining musical duo Jade Street for an intimate performance that promised raw talent but delivered a lightning rod of controversy. Videos of her rendition of Satellite, a haunting cover that aimed for ethereal vulnerability, proliferated across social media like wildfire, igniting a firestorm of opinions. For many, Martin's vocals evoked the chaotic charm of drunken karaoke singing, earnest but unpolished, a far cry from the polished prowess of her father's stadium anthems. TikTok, that relentless arbiter of viral verdicts, brimmed with barbed commentary. "Nepotism has killed art," one user lamented, capturing a sentiment that echoed through the digital corridors. "This is a nepotism baby I don't support," another declared, while a third quipped, "Aren't we bored with nepotism yet?" The jabs were sharp, laced with cultural fatigue toward the silver spoon set, those offspring of stardom who dare to dip toes into inherited ponds. The backlash cut deeper for some, drawing pointed parallels to Martin's lineage. "That's on inheriting Gwyneth's audacity," sniped one commenter, alluding to Paltrow's polarizing persona as a wellness guru whose Goop empire has been both lauded and lambasted for its highbrow excesses. Others urged restraint. "Sorry, but she needs to leave the singing to her dad," a plea that underscored the impossible standards foisted upon legacy kids. One particularly vivid critique likened her performance to a cringeworthy scene from Bridget Jones's Diary, where the titular character's off-key warbling becomes a metaphor for vulnerability's double-edged sword. It's a comparison that stings with its specificity, evoking laughter at expense rather than applause for effort. Yet, amid the chorus of detractors, glimmers of support pierced the din. On Instagram, where Martin's post-gig glow still lingered, fans rallied with affirmations, "Gorgeous voice," one exclaimed, while another marveled, "You sound heavenly." A particularly poignant defense hailed her as female Chris Martin. "Now I don't need to switch teams, thank God," a playful reclamation of her genetic gifts. To understand Apple's trajectory, one must navigate the labyrinthine legacy of her upbringing, a childhood gilded by fame's dual currencies of privilege and pressure. Born into a union that blended rock royalty with Hollywood sheen, Martin and her brother Moses, 19, grew up in a world where creativity was not just encouraged but expected. Chris Martin, the introspective troubadour whose Coldplay catalog has amassed 7 Grammy Awards, 9 Brit Awards and over 160 million records sold worldwide, has long embodied the artist's restless soul. His anthems of yearning and uplift, from the soaring Viva la Vida to the tender Fix You, have soundtracked generations, their emotional depth a beacon for the broken-hearted. Gwyneth Paltrow, meanwhile, parlayed her Oscar-winning turn in Shakespeare in Love into a lifestyle empire, but her musical forays in films like Duets, where she duet with her father Bruce, Country Strong, a raw dive into country music's underbelly, and Infamous, a biopic laced with song, reveal a latent performer undimmed by time. It's against this backdrop that Apple has tentatively stepped forward, not as heir apparent, but as explorer in her own right. Currently a law, history, and society major at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, a choice that speaks to her intellectual curiosity rather than rote replication of parental paths, Martin has woven her artistic inclinations into the fabric of campus life. She's a fixture in the Vanderbilt original cast, a cabaret theater group that thrives on theatrical whimsy and collaborative chaos. There, amid the footlights and fervor, she finds a sanctuary for self-expression. Her current role in a musical parody of Love Island, cheekily titled Love on an Island, showcases her comedic timing and stage presence, transforming the guilty pleasure reality show's tropes into satirical gold. In a rare interview, Martin opened up about her vocal identity with disarming candor. "I have a very low voice, so whenever we're doing harmonies it'll be like, 'Alright, it's the boys and Apple.' It's a line delivered with a shrug, acknowledging the anomaly without apology." She gushed about her semester's highlight: "I'm singing my absolute favorite song this semester, which I'm so excited about. I'm definitely not the best in the org, but I love it." This humility, this embrace of amateur joy over professional polish, is the thread that binds her Halloween reinvention to her musical misadventure, a refusal to let critique curtail curiosity. Bowie's Ziggy Stardust, after all, was no stranger to scorn. The alter ego that catapulted the Thin White Duke to immortality in the 1970s was a glam rock phantasm born of alienation and ambition, its androgynous flair a middle finger to convention. Martin's interpretation, fierce, feminine, and fiercely her own, mirrors this spirit, a declaration that artistry isn't about perfection but provocation. The pink hair, a temporary rebellion against her polished blonde, evokes Bowie's chameleon-like transformations, from the soulful Major Tom to the eerie Thin White Duke. The lightning bolt, scarred across her cheek like a badge of battles fought, symbolizes the scars of public scrutiny she now wears with defiance. And those star-studded hot pants? A nod to the cosmic wanderlust that defined Ziggy, a reminder that even in nepotism's orbit, one can chart a solitary star path. As the echoes of Nashville's critique fade into Halloween's revelry, Martin's story emerges as a parable for the modern Nepo baby. Those children of celebrity whose every step is measured against invisible yardsticks.